Hey everybody, it's Mark Arnstein, Remax Hallmark, and of course, livingnorthtoronto.com. This is vlog number 46, and this is part 2 of our 3-part series where we're going to look today at the Conservative Party's housing plan for 2021 of the upcoming election. Okay, let's take a hard, good look at the Conservative plan for the housing platform for 2021 election coming up on September the 20th. So the first thing they want to do is they want to create more transit infrastructure in and around where people are in condensed neighborhoods where people are living, so it attracts more people into those neighborhoods and they have more accessibility to get in and out of the neighborhoods. Okay, sounds good. One of the biggest things they want to do is that the federal government holds over 37,000 buildings across the country. They want to release at least about 15% of those and then increase those into housing for Canadians and have them redevelop and convert them into condominiums or apartments. The next thing they would like to do is they want to defer the capital gains tax on the sale of investment property. As long as you reinvest back into the market for a different one, that you'd be able to defer your capital gains on that to keep you incentivized to want to buy more investment property. They also want to do a massive commitment for reconciliation of Canada's Indigenous people by enacting the quote-unquote For Indigenous by Indigenous strategy. Sounds fantastic. Okay, the bigger thing they want to go after is they also want to try and really crack down on rooting out corporate activity that drive up the real estate prices and home ownership and put it actually out of reach by restricting criminal activity coming into the country, by people buying and trying to launder property, by bringing foreign funds in here that they shouldn't be doing. They implement comprehensive changes to the process of crime, money laundering, and terrorist financing act. They also want to establish a federal beneficial ownership registry for residential property. And they also want to reserve inflationary impacts of foreign buyers and speculation in the housing market. The Conservatives say that they will ensure that the housing in Canada is truly for Canadian citizens and residents first. So to quote the Conservative Party and Erin O'Toole, they say that we need the real estate market that serves the interests of everyday Canadians. Now, in order to achieve this, the Conservatives say they will do the following. They're going to ban foreign investors for not living in or moving to Canada from buying homes here for a 2-year period, after which it will then be reviewed. And instead, they're going to encourage foreign investment in purpose-built rental housing that is affordable to Canadians. So basically is that if you're coming here to work and live, no problem, and you're not a resident of Canada or have a permanent residency, you can go ahead and purchase a piece of real estate as long as you're going to be living in it. But if you're not going to be living in the country, then they prefer that you be buying apartment buildings to help encourage more rental availability for people to live in. The last thing they want to do is really go after the mortgage rules and make it more affordable. So the Conservatives say they're going to do the following. They're going to encourage a new market of 7 to 10 year mortgage rates. So that basically is, if you know how mortgages work, if you have a fixed rate mortgage, typically they're good for anywhere between 1, 3, or 5 years, which is relatively the norm. The government and the banks did put away with doing 7, 10, and longer term rates of mortgages. But now what they want to do is go back to that and allow for that longer term period to happen. So it adds more security to especially the higher ratio mortgages where people are putting less than 20% down, that they have their rate guaranteed for 7 to 10 year period, which affords a lot of stability in the mortgage department there. Now, the other thing they want to do is they want to remove the requirement of the stress test for when someone goes to renew their mortgage, meaning that basically your mortgage comes up after say 5 or 7 years and that they don't have to put you through the ringer again in order to re-qualify for a new mortgage rate. They also want to increase the limit on eligibility for mortgage insurance and the index to home price inflation for allowing those in high price real estate markets with less than 20% down payment an opportunity for home ownership. They also want to fix the mortgage stress test to stop discriminating against small businesses, owners, contractors, self-employed people, non-permanent residents, and also casual workers. Finally, the Conservatives say they will never tax Canadians' capital gains on the sale of your principal residence, which is obviously a great point. a lot of these initiatives have to do a lot with renters and getting renters more into housing, which is great. People need places to live, absolutely 100%. But I want to summarize this and I want to put this out there. I think this is really important for people to understand and comprehend. I'm all about buying investment property. I think it's the smartest thing you could ever do. I think it's a great way to build long-term generational wealth. However, what's happened now is that the governments have gotten so one-sided in the Residential Tenancy Act that it's so in favor of the tenants, it's made it very hard for landlords to be able to get rid of their tenants if there are any issues arising where tenants decide they're not paying rent or they're constantly being late on their monthly rent checks. So what's happened now is that when someone applies to go into a rental property, unless they are really and actually a AAA rated tenant, meaning that they have an unbelievably high credit score, they have great references, there are not going to be any issues. It's very hard for the average person with a mid-range credit score to find a decent rental option because it's made it so hard for the landlords to get rid of these people. So I'm not saying that it has to be completely one-sided one way or the other way, but I think there has to be a little bit of an even playing field, right? If you want people to go out and invest and put more money into the economy by buying these types of properties, which I think are fantastic ways to, again, increase your generational wealth, then it's got to be work for both parties involved so that it's not completely one-sided. Just my thought, and I think if you can find a way to get around that, I think you're going to have more people doing more investment style property. So just my thoughts. Anyways, that is a summary of the conservative plan for the housing market of 2021 on their election platform. And of course, if you want any more information, feel free to DM, text, email, whichever works best for you. We're always happy to chat. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned next week as we will finalize the part 3 of the series and look at the NDP platform for the housing election of 2021. Take care, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.